NBC Sports presents a national championship conducted by the United States Golf Association. Today, it's final round coverage of the 50th U.S. Women's Open.
Bordered by the majestic Rocky Mountains and beautiful Colorado Springs lies the 77-year-old Broadmoor East course. It's at this historic par 70 layout that the 50th U.S. Women's Open Championship will be decided today. Pinpoint shot making, precision putting will be at a premium. The 6,000-foot altitude, along with these undulating fairways and greens, have limited the field to only 3 subpar scores through 3 rounds. The woman who conquers the demanding tests of this mountain terrain today will earn the title U.S. National Champion. The drama began on Thursday, a record performance by 32-year-old Jill Briles-Hinton when she delivered this incredible putt on 18. Briles-Hinton owned a record 66 and the first round lead. On Friday, Annika Sorenstam, the promising 24-year-old from Stockholm, flirted with a hole-in-one on her way to a 36-hole total of 2 under. Sorenstam, one of 8, tied for the lead at the halfway mark. Yesterday, the players to beat separated themselves from the pack. 32-year-old Julie Larson, the winner at Minneapolis just a few weeks ago, birdied 18 for a 68, and with it claimed second place at 3 under par. Larson, celebrating the best golf of her career, is just 2 shots behind the leader. And the leader is Meg Mallon, the winner of the Open 4 years ago. Mallon took charge yesterday, conquering the Broadmoor's challenging greens. The 32-year-old who grew up in Detroit, schooled at Ohio State, and now plays out of Ramona, California, has been consistently solid, establishing an Open record for 54 holes at 205. Meg Mallon into today's final round. She is the player to beat. So after 3 rounds, Mallon with a 2-shot advantage over Julie Larson and 4 ahead of Rosie Jones. Robbins, Bradley, and Sorenstam even par. And part of the thrill, final Sunday, You're the Leader, introduced on the first tee.
The 1991 Women's Open champion, Meg Mallon, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Par 4 opening hole. The leader, Meg Mallon, ready to begin her day. Mallon would make her par on the first hole, while overnight in second place, Julie Larson, playing with Mallon, faced early troubles, a bogey on 1, and here another bogey on 2. 2 shots dropped in 2 holes. Mallon playing now the toughest hole on the Broadmoor East. Second shot on the long par 4 third.
She comes over the top of it with her wood off that downhill lie and gets it left of the green and those behind those trees.
And a difficult third shot.
She had to play left of the green. I don't think she had a shot. And you see the ball sort of the club turned over, and she hit in the rough and made a great up and in really right there to save bogey.
And now at 4 under is Mallon. Now par 3 fourth hole. Mallon off her bogey at 3.
134 yards.
And she's in the pond. So let's go out live to the 4th. Now for double bogey.
This is not a gimme either. There's a lot of slope from back to front. This putt will break. If she hits it too easy, it'll miss low. And there's just as long a one coming back now, and this is a harder putt than the one she just hit. Now she has a slice putt, which for right-handed putter is the one you don't want. So right now, I guarantee you the hair is raised on the back of her neck, and palms are probably a little sweaty, and the mind is racing and just cannot believe what just happened on the last 4 shots.
Donna Caponi is there.
This is a left edge putt, and you have to hit it dead flush. If you don't, it'll just squirt to the right.
So a lead that seemed so very comfortable just 2 holes ago. 4 shots dropped in the last 2 holes. Mallon triple bogey on 4, and now the current leaderboard. Betsy King through 9, 4 under today, has moved into a share of the lead with another Hall of Famer, Pat Bradley. Annika Sorenstam, she now is part of the picture. Julie Larson and Meg Mallon all tied for the lead. As you look at others now who all have moved as the pack moves forward, as Mallon falls back, all of these names now must consider themselves with a chance at this prestigious title. As we welcome you to Colorado Springs, Dick Enberg with Marlene Floyd, Johnny Miller. This has all happened in the last few minutes. Oh my.
I mean, I am really in shock. I was feeling so bad for Meg right there. You know, before she could have sort of run away from the tournament, especially with Julie Larson bogeying the first 2 holes, and then all of a sudden she gone bogey triple, and it's just it's unbelievable. I can't believe what the leaderboard. The only thing Betsy King's got to worry about, she might have coronary. Just seeing the leaderboard, she can't believe all of a sudden she's tied for the lead. There's 13 within 3 shots of the lead right now.
Now, Marlene, Meg Mallon won this championship 4 years ago, and sometimes having won it even puts more pressure on you.
I felt like she had all the pressure on her this morning. She knows the importance of winning a U.S. Open. It's like she and Patty Sheehan both said, once they got their win and they got that trophy at home, they started reading the names of all the past history and the winners who have won it. They started getting all the hype from the press, all the exposure. It just made them that much more nervous.
Mallon's tee shot on the 5th hole.
Just a straightaway uphill par 4 with really uphill, 395 yards, and just as in the intermediate rough, which is just about 1.5 inches long.
Mallon trying to smile. Let's move ahead to 10, and Betsy King, who shares the lead, this for par.
Third hardest hole in the course.
Charged by the veteran Betsy King, most recent Hall of Famer.
And boy, I'll tell you, if she can post a score early, she's going to be tough.
Well, let's meet those who will be covering this most important major championship, beginning with Bob Trumpy.
Dick, this Broadmoor East golf course sits at 6,500 feet above sea level in the foothills of the Cheyenne Mountains, and playing at just under 6,400 yards, one would think a pretty easy track. Wrong. First, the USGA has allowed the intermediate rough to grow to 1.5 inches, the primary rough to 3 inches, to narrow the landing areas. And Kelly Robbins' second shot at the par 4 18th in round 3 illustrates another problem. A simple-looking 6-iron turned into a double bogey because of a side hill lie. On this golf course, these players constantly place uphill, downhill, side hill lies. You can't find a level spot anywhere. And these huge greens, well, for that story, let's move ahead to Dan Hicks.
You're right, Bob. They are very large and also very difficult. And just as important as the advice they get from their caddies is that monument on the mountain. We're talking about the Will Rogers Shrine, located just above the Broadmoor on Cheyenne Mountain. Most of the putts break away from this shrine. They are slower putting into it, faster going away. And this point was illustrated by Meg Mallon, her birdie attempt on 13. With a shrine behind her, she didn't think she'd hit it. But the shrine helps push it into the cup, and Mallon ends up with a birdie. And after her round, she said, I was shrined on 13. Some new terminology here at the Broadmoor. Let's send it back up to Dick Enberg.
And our roving reporters, Donna Capone, 2-time champion of the Open, 1969 and 70, and 2-time UCLA All-America Kay Cockerell. Meg Mallon dropping 4 shots in the first 4 holes today. So suddenly what seemed to be everyone trying to catch a leader becomes a horse race that involves 5 women tied for the lead. And when you talk about Mallon, you wonder about the pressure of playing with the lead. She had this reply.
I'm not used to having a lead. I'm used to chasing, and I think that's a lot easier position to try and chase someone if you're only 1 or 2 shots back. And you know, I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm worried about making bogey, because you're going to make a bogey in the U.S. Open. So if I make a bogey, then get over it and go on. I'm going to have a lot of emotions out there. You're going to try and keep them in check.
Well, she's going to have to follow that philosophy and forget about a triple bogey today. Let's go to 5 in the second shot for Mallon.
And I was impressed as the two of them walking off the tee. Julie Larson came up to Meg and said, "Hey, we got to get this thing turned around. Let's get going." So I thought that was a good move for her. And this is an uphill shot to a back right pin placement. Donna?
Well, it's just slightly left of the flag. That's a good play from right there. 150 yards. That was a 7-iron.
This is a very nice pairing today for Meg Mallon. She's easy to play with. Julie Larson is a very talkative, easygoing gal, and I think that'll be good for Meg.
Julie Larson, after yesterday's round, you know you're going to have butterflies in a situation like this. You just have to try to get them to fly in formation. They got a nearby U.S. Air Force Academy, perhaps.
Right now, those butterflies are nosediving.
She's 140 with an 8-iron. Likes to move the ball from left to right. A little bit of wind behind the players.
Bounce.
Sounded like she hit that a little heavy.
She's just about 5 feet shy of the green. So the drama indeed building in Colorado Springs. King, Bradley, Sorenstam, Larson sharing the lead with Meg Mallon.
The 50th U.S. Women's Open is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of Lincoln luxury automobiles. By Microsoft, the leader in software. Where do you want to go today? By Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. And by Wilson. Wilson, the right equipment makes the difference.
Welcome back. We're at the par 4 7th. Annika Sorenstam, second shot.
170 yards. Back left pin placement.
She's last year's Rookie of the Year, just an outstanding player, and she told me this morning that the butterflies were flying and she didn't sleep very well last night.
Back to the 5th. Julie Larson's third shot. Well done. Back to 7. And Pat Bradley.
160 yards. Probably 7-iron.
Pat didn't get the best out of her game yesterday, having a few 3 putts, but she's playing well.
Her favorite color on the golf course, red. That's what she's adorned with today.
Come on.
And Meg Mallon, meanwhile, at the 5th for her birdie to try to get herself back on a positive vein. She had gone more than 24 holes without a bogey until the bogey at 3 and then the triple at 4. 211.
And we pick up the second shot of Betsy King. Great position in this fairway at 11. Elevated green. Hole location just 6 paces off the left edge. And King will have another birdie try at 11. Back to 5.
All right, Dan Hicks, Donna Caponi.
Julie's ball was on the very front edge of the green, chipped to just above the hole. And one thing you don't want to have is this exact putt. If she makes this, look out. This woman has been on fire since the practice tee. She's rolled it by about 2.5, 3 feet.
Donna, don't you think this is a huge putt right here for the psyche of Meg Mallon?
Absolutely.
I mean, after going bogey, triple bogey, and then hitting that very poor first putt, if she were to miss this, her chances are really going down quick.
You know, up until that last green, she hadn't had a 3-putt in the first 3 rounds, which is just remarkable. And we had said at the beginning of this tournament, anybody that could play this tournament without a 3-putt would probably win. This putt's straight uphill. Johnny, you and I putted this morning how slow it was going back up the hill.
See if she can put on a good stroke. Dead solid.
That's a big, big par.
And there's a sigh of relief, big time.
To 7. This is for birdie, Annika Sorenstam.
Moves left. It's running with the fall of the green. There it goes. Looks back uphill, actually.
Ahead to 11.
And this birdie try will give Betsy King the lead. Outright. It was on line, but that'll be her 6th straight par since birding 4 the first 5. Back to 7.
Pat Bradley.
Breaks left.
This would give her sole possession of the lead.
What a nice putt.
Well, she said yesterday, shooting over par, she still felt she had a chance to win this championship.
She's thinking it's going to break left. And just missing.
Par for Bradley. Remains 1 under in a 5-way tie for first. Larson made bogey. And here's the updated leaderboard. 2 Hall of Famers, Betsy King and Pat Bradley, along with the 24-year-old Annika Sorenstam and another former Open champion, Meg Mallon, share the lead at 1 under. Julie Larson is 1 back. Annika Sorenstam.
She's worked really hard, I'm sorry, on her putting. She said she's really good at chipping.
Just straight in.
Her par remains in a tie for first place. A dozen players now are within 3 of the lead. Let's go to the 6th tee. Meg Mallon. 372-yard par 4.
Well, you can see this hole here just moves slightly to the right with a very elevated green. A little bit blind tee shot up over that hill.
Ball's perfect. It's going to kick just a little bit to the left.
So Mallon well positioned, middle of the fairway. Betsy King, Pat Bradley, Annika Sorenstam, and Meg Mallon share the lead for the 50th U.S. Women's Open Championship.
On the par 3 12th, 210 yards today, Betsy King has a royal charge going. Kay Cockrell, club selection.
She's hitting a 4-iron. This hole playing slightly into the wind today. Left this one out to the right.
Hole location is back left. And what about the scorecard of Betsy King on the front 9? She began this day 8 shots back, 4 birdies at 1, 2, 4, and 5. Out in 31 on the front 9. And she's added 6 straight pars after starting 4 the first 5 with birdies. Back to 8.
And one of the leaders, Pat Bradley.
8th hole, 155 yards uphill. That's a beauty.
81 U.S. Women's Open champion Val Skinner at the 9th. Ooh, chance for birdie there. She's 1 over for the championship. That was to bring her within 1 of the lead. So King and Bradley, the Hall of Famers, with the youngster Sorenstam. Meg Mallon trying to recover. Larson just 1 shot back. To Meg Mallon, her 2nd shot.
Meg has 100 yards, hole location 10 on, 7 from the right. This with a pitching wedge. Looks good.
Needs to get that momentum turned around, get a birdie. Could be right there.
67 4 years ago when she won the 91 U.S. Women's Open. Ahead to the 8th. Par 3, Annika Sorenstam.
Annika wouldn't have any more than perhaps an 8-iron. She almost made hole in one here in the 3rd round.
One back.
Back to the 7th, Rosie Jones for birdie.
And this has been Rosie's tournament. She's just been getting it on the middle of the green. Long putts, but 2 putts every time. It's hanging right in there.
At the 6th, the second shot of Julie Larson.
That's a sand wedge from 70. Just a little below the hole.
Both Mallon and Larson with birdie opportunities. Well, this is a dream championship to win, and the USA Basketball Selection Show will announce the dream team for the 1996 Olympic Games. That will be July 30th, Sunday, July 30th, here on NBC. To the 8th, and Pat Bradley with a birdie chance and the lead.
Again, Pat had a couple of 3 putts yesterday and pretty much knocked herself, we would have thought, out of the tournament. And I know she spoke with her mother last night and said that she got it in the wrong place on the holes, but she still felt like she had a chance to win the championship. And with her experience, you can never count her out.
This is a very slow putt, right up against to the mountain. Easy to leave it short, not a lot of break. Boy, those are 2 pure putts in a row that didn't go in right there. Both of them on the top edge.
Among her 31 career titles are 6 majors, including the 81 U.S. Women's Open, and she could taste that one for sole possession of the lead.
Their stroke looks much better today. You would think on the last round it would be shaky. Yesterday was shaky. Today looks great.
To 12, Dan.
All right, Dick, and Betsy King pacing off a long birdie putt here at the par 3 12th. She is currently tied for the lead at 1 under. Kay Cockrell, this has to come up and over the ridge from this angle.
It sure does. This is a very tricky putt, about 70 feet away. She needs to play the slope, but it will break down to the left at the last 3rd part of the putt. Last 3 holes, Betsy's had some lengthy birdie putts of 30 and 45 feet. So she's definitely been working on her pars.
You think that's not quick?
What a fine putt by Betsy King. That for par to remain at 1 under. 5 major championships for King. Of course, the historic 30th win coming 3 weeks ago in New Jersey to clinch her Hall of Fame status. The 89 and the 90 Open champion, and biggest final round comebacks. Earl Breer back in '62, and then Betsy King did it back in 1990 when Patty Sheehan really collapsed on the final day. Let's head back to 6.
And the chance for birdie for the overnight leader, Meg Mallon. Julie Larson missed her chance for birdie.
This 12-footer is going to swing strong away from the mountain, which is right at her back, down towards the valley. It could break as much as 6 or 8 inches, depending on the speed.
What a putt.
What a schizophrenic front side for Meg Mallon, from the depths of a triple to a birdie to regain sole possession of the lead. To the 8th, and a chance to tie Mallon for the lead, Annika Sorenstam.
Very fast.
Sorenstam remains -1. Meg Mallon back on top of the leaderboard. King, Bradley, and Sorenstam just 1 behind as we go to Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Dick. She is the belle of this ball. Judy Bell, Vice President of the USGA. This Broadmoor course has been a huge part of her life. This is her party. And Judy, can you give us a sense of what it means for you to have the 50th U.S. Women's Open here?
Well, it's a great sense of pride to have the 50th, especially here, and in my adopted hometown, and to see a city and the Front Range in Colorado, and particularly all the people here at the Broadmoor, embrace this championship, and that's what they've done. They've just hugged it, and it gives me goosebumps. It's absolutely terrific.
You have such a wonderful history here, first playing on this course at age 11 in the Broadmoor Invitational, a tournament that you went on to win 3 times, and we have a picture of your first championship here in 1957.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of what that meant to you.
Well, I did play here when I was 11, and it was the first time I played 18 holes. My father entered me when my mother was out playing a practice round. She was pretty annoyed when she got in, but anyway, it took me 10 years to win this, and it was one of the highlights of my career, because this place has meant a lot to me since childhood.
You had a sparkling amateur career, but at the time, it wasn't really a viable option from a financial standpoint to become a professional, and you have seen the way that women's golf has progressed over the last 3 decades or so.
Yes. It wasn't. Believe it or not, in those days, I could probably be financially better off selling clothes.
Right. And you have 5 shops here now, right?
That's not the case now, for sure.
What do you see as the future of women's golf? It's certainly gaining in popularity, record attendance numbers this week at the Open.
Well, I think it's been one of the biggest secrets, really, in the game, and it's wonderful, and it's refreshing, and the players are so good. They're good athletes and good shot makers, and they're very personable, and they do have this warmth about them. And I think it's, I hate to use the word product, but I think it's something now that people are discovering. They certainly are this week. And what I get the biggest kick out of is that everybody out there stops me and says, you know, this is just great, and I'm having the best time. I'm talking about all the spectators, because we set out to make this spectator-friendly, and I think we've done that.
You've been such a huge part of that, Judy Bell, and congratulations on the great success of this championship.
Thank you.
Now let's get back to championship action on the golf course.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Meg Mallon, second shot on the 7th.
It's 425 yards up and over. You can't see the tee shot land, and that takes a tremendous forward bounce. As you can see, must have hit the downslope of one of those little bumps, and that gets an extra 10 or 15 yards in perfect position.
So Meg Mallon, recovering from triple bogey, leads this 50th U.S. Women's Open over Betsy King, Pat Bradley, and Annika Sorenstam, and will return. A major prize at stake. Up on the Cheyenne Mountain, the Will Rogers Shrine, and that great humorist said, I can applaud a winner as loud as anybody, but somehow a loser appeals to me. And I guess you could take that philosophy and apply it to one of the greats, Nancy Lopez. Not a winner today, but nevertheless, Will Rogers would be applauding with all the rest as she walked up 18. 47 career wins.
Maybe one of the greatest smiles in all of sport.
And she finished with a flourish.
Pretty straight putt here. Fabulous.
The best player not to win a U.S. Women's Open, Hall of Famer Nancy Lopez. Finishing 70 today. Now let's go out to the 7th, second shot of Julie Larson. Donna Caponi.
Julie's 175. She's talking club selection over with her caddy, Jeff. Hole location 25 on, 7 from the left. There's a ridge that runs right to the right side of this flag. Tough pin placement. The hardest hole on the golf course the first 3 days was this 7th hole. The wind is kicking up just a little bit. Pretty far down the fairway, but I'm going to guess she's hitting 5-iron. What do you think, Marlene?
Yeah, this is a hard hole, and she definitely wants to carry it up over the trouble.
Yep.
Looks like a little bug possibly
Yes.
has distracted her. Also, she's a very fast player. She has to try to keep her swing under control. She sometimes doesn't get long enough because she has a lot of nervous energy. Just a great gal, though.
Yeah, you can see from that graphic if she can stay in position. On the front nine, the back nine's her nine.
Ball's right at it. You heard her say, be the stick. Release it. Needed to release up that little hill.
Ahead to 13. Second shot for Betsy King, trailing Mallon by 1. Kay Cockrell.
Betsy has 115 yards to the pin. Needs a nice high, soft wedge. This green very firm and slopes to the right.
Just on for King, the Open champion, 89 and 90. Back to the 10th, and Val Skinner, who is 3 shots off the lead, +1 today.
She's a very strong ball hitter. She can work the ball right to left or left to right.
And she's leading the stats in driving distance this week over everyone, including Laura Davies, and hits a tremendous approach shot right there. Darn went in the hole.
Back to 7. And the second shot of Meg Mallon.
Well, she's not watching it too intently. I guess she knows it's short. She came off it, I guess, just a touch, and not a bad spot, though.
At 14, the reigning champion, Patty Sheehan for par, and at +2, she's only 4 off the lead. Don't count out Patty Sheehan. She, with a hot finish, could tighten the vice. Let's go to the 9th, the par 5. Pat Bradley.
This is a par 5 that's definitely reachable. She wants to drive it down the left side of the fairway.
Tremendous slope in this fairway, left to right. Watch how this ball kicks. You can land on the left side of the fairway and miss it on the right, and that ball sitting down in the primary rough, which now is in the 2.5, maybe even to the 3-inch range with the growth this week.
Now Annika Sorenstam, if she should win, would be the 13th time a player has made the Open. Her first LPGA victory, and the last, and maybe this is an omen, was a fellow Swede, Liselott Neumann, in 1988.
Want to avoid the scrub oak that's on the left, and that's why a lot of players miss it right. And that hits the left edge of the fairway, and watch where this ends up. Perfect.
To 13, Betsy King for birdie.
36-foot putt. A little bit downhill, will move to her right.
She's always had marvelous speed on her putts.
Back to 10, this for birdie for Val Skinner. Wow.
That was definitely a misread there. I mean, she's just in shock.
Meg Mallon at 7 has a birdie chance. The leader by 1.
40 feet uphill and then back downhill, and right at the hole should move down towards the valley. It's an excellent read from down there.
She looks pretty loose, Donna. I mean, considering what transpired on 3 and 4, she looks like everything's just fine.
Well, maybe she needs to have a little problem getting herself going, and maybe the triple bogey is what did it. What a way to do it, but I tell you what, she's played well since then.
Julie Larson lining up her birdie putt. First round, second round, third round, and then her best play has been in the 4th round, U.S. Women's, and this is her 10th Open.
Well, it's going to be tough to match that average. She's 3 over now, which is a 73 if she pars in, but she could do it.
The average for the championship on this course, 74. +4.
Hurry ball.
Julie Larson, what would it mean to win the U.S. Open?
To win it would be, I think, the highlight, of anybody's career. You see, when Meg Mallon, when she won, that propelled her, and Lori Merton, that certainly was, the crowning accomplishment. So I would like to, put my name on that trophy, and that's for the ages.
Came close to a major earlier this year, finishing tied for 3rd at the LPGA Championship.
She was telling me this morning in the interview room yesterday, she was speaking so fast that the stenographer couldn't take it all down. She said when I got up from the table, he went, "Phew, I hope I got all that."
High energy.
This putt just breaks slightly to her left. Inside right.
Marvelous putt.
So Larson remains 2 shots off the lead.
And that's a pretty good nerve check when you have those kind of putts there, 5-6 feet, and be able to hit them that nicely. Good speed, right in the right center of the hole. So, again, for Meg, for her to win this championship, she's going to have to, like she did yesterday, make these putts, Donna.
Absolutely. Just a quick thing about Julie Larson. John Elliott is her teaching pro, and he watched the telecast and said, "You got to keep your head steadier, Jill." And Julie, and that's what she did on that putt. Now, Meg Mallon putting back up the hill should be maybe inside left to straight in. But it's a little slow.
As you saw, King made her par 13.
Stayed very still on that putt.
Ahead to the par 5 9th, second shot for Annika Sorenstam.
From the top of this hill, there's a lake down in the gully there. You can't see it, but she's got to hit it good, otherwise it'll go right in the pond. She's going for it. Might be hooking a little left. Maybe it's perfect. That's a beauty. What a shot.
An eagle chance for Sorenstam. To 14. And Betsy King at the tee.
That's 14th hole, 377 yards, and she's put it right down the middle in a good position to. She needs a birdie. She's gone a lot of holes without a birdie.
Back to 8. Meg Mallon getting ready to tee on this, the shortest of the par 3s.
155 yards to hole location, 26 back, 7 from the right. There's a ridge that runs diagonally across this green. If the players play just a little bit left of the hole, it'll filter down towards the pin.
Donna, where's the wind blowing from? You can see this graphic here. That's pretty solid golf when you're top 10 in every one of those categories.
Johnny, it's cross right to left.
Right to left. Not doing much. It's a little protected right there in the trees.
That was an 8-iron. It's right at it.
It took a monster bounce. It like it landed on a sprinkler head. She can't believe it.
Back to the 9th and the 3rd shot of Pat Bradley.
Pat Bradley with 117. Be just a little wedge for her. And she can't see anything but the top of the flag from down there.
Okay.
In good shape for a possible birdie. Meg Mallon, the leader going into this final round, has reclaimed the advantage by 1 shot. The golden anniversary U.S. Women's Open.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC.
Welcome back. The 9th. Sorenstam for eagle.
Pretty good. Pretty strong break to the left.
That was to move into sole possession of the lead. Short birdie putt to tie Meg Mallon. And Mallon is in the bunker at 8.
about all she could do. She had no green to work with and had to make sure she got it below the hole.
To 14 and Betsy King's second shot.
That was a wedge from 107 yards.
And Betsy King's last birdie was on number 5, and so she's due. And that could be the birdie she's been looking for.
Now back to 9, and Sorenstam with this tap in to give her a share of the lead. The 1994 Rookie of the Year. She was the European Rookie of the Year in '93. University of Arizona star. To 13, Lita Lindley. This is for birdie.
Up and over. And I mean, that is such a tough putt. Watch this. And that was a good putt. If she hadn't hit that little firm, it'd almost go off the green.
He's one of the bright young faces in this championship. She's +1 on the championship, 22 years of age, 4-time All-America, 3-time GTE Academic All-America at the University of Arizona. Lita Lindley. Let's go to 9. Birdie putt for Pat Bradley.
Well, she got a free read off Annika, but it wasn't an easy putt, even if you know where it's going to break.
Back to 8.
Meg's putt straight up the hill, Johnny.
Yes, it is. Slow one.
Yes. Extremely slow. I think if she plays it pretty straight and firm, she makes this putt.
To me, this one the hardest putt, so you just have to hit it. You get no help on this putt. You just have to hit it perfectly. It seems like that should be an easy putt, but you just have to power it in there.
For the first time in the championship, sole possession, Annika Sorenstam, looking for her first win in the United States. Meg Mellon with the bogey drops back 1 shot off the lead with Betsy King and Pat Bradley, as you see the updated leaderboard.
Sort of a shame. Meg Mellon hit a very fine approach shot on number 8, and it just hit a hard spot. So you hate to have those kind of bogeys.
Julie Larson's been battling the bugs all day.
Julie had about a 40-footer, went up the hill and back down, and it sure put on the brakes. This putt's going to swing a lot from left to right.
Larson with her par. She's 2 off the lead as we go to 14.
This is Betsy's best opportunity for birdie in several holes. 12-foot putt, straight uphill, will move slightly to her right, putting directly into the mountains.
Broadmoor East, the back 9, will decide who will win this 50th U.S. Women's Open Championship. And to give you insight as to the holes and how they'll be played, here's Johnny.
The back 9 starts with a par 4 of 443 yards. You can see this left bunker is definitely in play. Some of the ladies can carry it, the longer hitters, but if you can hit it just past this bunker, it leaves you about a 7-iron into this downhill approach into the green, a green that goes away severely off Pikes Peak. You can see if you do run it through the green, it has this difficult chip shot back into the green. During Friday's second round, Chris Cheddar proved that going past the pin doesn't mean trouble. A chip and birdie was the right way to start her back 9. 11th hole is a dogleg left par 4 of 362 yards. Sort of a blind tee shot. You go up and over this hill right here. Favors a nice little draw off the tee, and if you can get a draw and some nice run, leaves the players a short iron, maybe 8, 9, or wedge to this uphill green that's surrounded, as you can see, by 3 bunkers. And this bunker on the right is quite deep. If you get down there, you can barely just see half of the pin. And it's a very undulating green, and par is a good score unless you hit a great second shot. The 12th hole is a downhill par 3 with a new tee today. It's playing 210 yards. You can see this green is heavily bunkered and the green runs away from you. This week, the 12th, was also the site of the Wild Kingdom. Tammy Green was startled when a deer postponed her tee shot. After finishing the par 4 13th, the par 4 14th offers some unique challenges. You can see this bunker right here is definitely in play if you don't hit a good tee shot. From there, if you can hit this downslope, it runs out into a short iron into this uphill green that's bunkered in the front. You can run it in if you hit short up onto this green. It has tremendous undulation. During yesterday's third round, relative unknown Jill Briles Hinton found the fairway bunker and couldn't reach the green. Finding the short grass definitely helps here. The 406-yard par 4 15th, I think, is the best driving hole on the golf course, and that's because both of these fairway bunkers are definitely in play. 260-yard carry to get over those. You can hit it just past in the shaded area here. You're left with a severe sloping left to right lie with a short iron to a green that's surrounded by 3 bunkers, and this green is one of the hardest putting challenges on the golf course. The 16th is a downhill par 3, drops about 30 feet down into this green that's got 3 bunkers that surrounds it. Very difficult hole location today and a severely sloping green. In Thursday's opening round, 1980 Open champion Amy Alcott found one of the tucked pins in this undulating green. Amy's deuce helped her regroup en route to a 2-over par 72. After finishing the 17th hole, which is the easiest hole on the golf course, a par 5, the players must come to the 18th, a par 4, 394 yards. The perfect shot is a nice little fairway wood off the tee, a little fade to this sloping fairway, goes to the right. You can hit a good drive, you go over the pond here, and you can see the bunker on the right could be in play to this hole. Yesterday, Meg Mallon hit the shot a little thin and used the entire fairway, got a good bounce, and of course it bounced up within birdie range. She didn't make this putt, but she did receive a warm ovation, one she hopes to receive on her way to a possible second U.S. Open victory later today.
All right, Annika Sorenstam ready to tee on the 10th.
Annika wants to hit it down the right side with a draw if you can to work with the favor, get a little extra roll. It's 443 yards, so it's a long hole, but it is downhill, and she is absolutely just striped it. Couldn't hit it any better.
She was the runner-up 3 years ago in the U.S. Women's Amateur. Looking ahead to next weekend, more outstanding golf for you at the Jowl Big Apple Classic presented by Golf Magazine. This year's top 7 LPGA leading money winners are scheduled to compete. The Jowl Big Apple Classic next Saturday and Sunday, 4 Eastern on NBC. Pat Bradley on 10.
Watching anxiously, there's a bunker right there, and she has knocked it left. I think it's gone into the bunker.
Sorenstam is the leader. Betsy King, Pat Bradley, Meg Mallon, all 3 have won Open championships, are tied for second. Julie Larson still there. Youngest on the course that's in contention, Lita Lindley. She's just 23. She is only 3 shots back. But the 24-year-old from Stockholm is on top of the list right now. Like Corey Pavin, Tom Weiskopf sharing with us all the meaningfulness of an Open championship. Betsy King at 15.
Second shot, Dick. Pin is back right. Oh. Yeah, she's pulled it. How badly? Oh, back bunker. No worse spot with that pin position today at 15, back to 10.
Pat Bradley in the bunker, her second shot.
195 yards. She hit it thinly, but that'll hit the downslope and do a lot of running and see how well she hit it. Not too bad from there, really. That's the way to hit it. If you're in a fairway bunker, you're better off hitting it thin than fat, that's for sure, as long as there's not a lip.
Bradley, fairways hit today, 6 of 8. Green, 7 of 10, and only 15 putts through the first 9 holes. Now the leader, Annika Sorenstam.
Annika is 184 yards from the top of the hill, like we said earlier. Couldn't have hit it any better. right hole location. Hard to get to.
She wouldn't be hitting any more than a 4 to 5 iron since it's so much downhill.
Well, that's a very fine golf shot. Our leader.
To 15.
This is down the mountain. Very
Fantastic touch on that shot.
Okay, that was beautiful. Betsy King's last bogey was at 15 yesterday. She's now gone 17 holes without one. Back to 9.
McMillan's second shot on this par 5.
Main thing here, you want to hit it solidly. It might have been a little heavy. I don't know from the sound.
Well, she carries a little 7-wood. Looked like that she used it there, but she is surprised again. Another ball has bounced into the back bunker.
Annika Sorenstam. Some have said here she's been a happy Hanukkah in this championship. Her last bogey came on the 10th hole yesterday, the Australian Women's Open, and then she won 2 tournaments in Europe, and that prepared her for this run in Colorado Springs, and many have just been waiting for her first U.S. victory. It's in the making with her great talent. Will it come at a major? She's finished twice this year at Tucson and at the Oldsmobile in Lansing as runner-up. And here she is in the lead through 9 holes of play today over Betsy King, Pat Bradley, and Meg Mellon, 3 former champions. How good is that?
She's very respected by the LPGA players. They think she's possibly one of the hottest players on tour right now not to have won.
Well, that shot she just hit is going to go a long ways to possibly getting another birdie on this hole. And this is the 3rd hardest hole on the golf course. So a little unexpected pleasure here to have a putt inside 12 feet on this 10th green.
You see the other scores, many of them in the clubhouse.
And Pat Bradley just got a nice little uphill pitch shot. It's the kind of shot you shouldn't have too much trouble. Just try to make nice, solid contact, brush the grass, which she's done twice now in her practice swing. Don't need to hit into the ground here. Doesn't do a lot from here. It's actually the kind of pitch shot you could make. It's almost straight in from there. Maybe just a little break left.
We'll talk a lot about how fast some of these greens are. You'll have putts that are extremely fast. You can have a 5-footer downhill. The mountain is looking the way she's looking up the fairway, and you get downhill, down mountain putts, and they're extremely fast.
Ahead to 15.
For her 9th straight par, and to stay 1 back of Sorenstam. Oh, that is a fantastic sand save by Betsy King. She remains 1 under, 2-9.
And Meg Mellon out of the bunker. 3rd shot.
But you see she landed that ball just in the fringe as fast as it is away from the mountain. What a superb shot.
Back to 10. Sorenstam.
Yeah!
Oh, my. Another birdie for this 24-year-old, and she has opened a 2-shot lead.
Stayed still on that putt, and that's, like I said, that's a one heck of a birdie.
This par 4 10th hole has been playing 3rd toughest, and a birdie for Sorenstam.
And she was one of the players I spoke with this morning that said she was the most nervous. She said her stomach was jumping around like crazy this morning.
As long as the stroke is smooth, the stomach can jump all at once.
And just to be playing in the final round with a chance for a major title with a Hall of Famer.
Now's when you can't think about how happy your mom and dad will be, and how much this is going to do for you, and how many tournaments it's going to get you in. You got to really just say, hey, that was a good hole. Let's think about the next one.
Now, Pat Pat Bradley for her par. She remains in a tie for second, 2 behind Sorenstam. Back to the 9th. Birdie putt for Meg Mallon.
Big putt, Johnny. You've got to take advantage of the par 5. She had a brilliant shot in here. But should move just a tad left.
Solid up and in.
Meg Mallon sole possession of second place, 1 behind Sorenstam.
Dick, this is 16, the par 3 today, playing 167 yards. Betsy King is on the tee. Kay Cockrell is walking with this group. Kay, excuse me.
Bob Trumpy?
I'm wondering if Betsy King has looked at the scoreboard. I'm wondering if she knows where she stands. 1 under, now 2 back of Annika Sorenstam.
Knowing Betsy, I guarantee you she's looked at that scoreboard and she knows what she has to do. I think she needs to make 2 birdies the next 3 holes.
Kay, has Betsy checked the scoreboard?
Yes, she has. I saw her check the scoreboard after the 11th hole when she was on the 12th tee, so she's very aware of what's going on right now.
The one thing you don't want to do on this hole, Kay and Bob, is miss it. Hit it left side of the green. It's got like a 12-foot break there, and you don't want to be short on line either.
Well done by Betsy King. She's now 2 back of the championship leader, Annika Sorenstam, to 11.
This is the par 4, 362 yards, dog leg left. This is playing the easiest hole of this championship today in the final round. And Annika Sorenstam, a 2-shot lead, actually now 1 over Meg Mallon after her 2nd straight birdie at 10. Most of the tee shots will kick to the left. 2nd shortest par 4 on the course.
Yes, Annie.
Gallery seems to like it. And it has gone into the rough. Back to 10.
Meg Mallon off the tee.
Right center of the fairway. Has to kick a little left. Nice play.
To 11.
And the tee shot, Pat Bradley. Trailing her playing competitor by 2 shots. And this one should stay in the fairway.
So 24-year-old Annika Sorenstam with a 1-shot lead over Meg Mallon. Lita Lindley, who was a college teammate of Sorenstam, also in the picture. As we go to 1969, as Kathy Whitworth looked on in dismay, Donna Caponi clinched the Women's Open on the final green. Caponi enjoyed the title so much she successfully defended it the following year.
At the par 3 16th birdie attempt, Betsy King.
Big break.
It would be her 5th of the day. She settles for her 10th straight par. And this is Lita Lindley, the young lady who was not only a schoolmate but also a roommate of Annika Sorenstam at the University of Arizona. This is her 3rd shot. You see, this is her 1st Women's Open. Has played beautifully.
Bob, she said she was so nervous the first day. It was her first time in the lead, first time in the U.S. Open, and first time on national TV, and she was just awestruck.
I love her attitude. She's got the only smile I've ever seen that might be better than Nancy Lopez's.
Third shot.
Come on, get up.
Well, she opened with an even par 70, then 2 under 68, then 4 over 74. Let's move back to 11.
And from Lita Lindley's Former roommate Annika Sorenstam is in the rough, Kay Cockrell.
She is. She has 120 yards to the pin. The best situation is she's in the right side and the pin is left, and that will create a great angle for her shot, but her ball is sitting down pretty deeply in the rough. Coming out low.
Elevated green here at 11. Takes a nice hop and is headed toward the hole. What a play by Sorenstam. +2 on the par fours this week, but an excellent opportunity for a third straight birdie. Back to 10.
Meg 186 downhill lie, which is going to close this club head down a little bit with a 6-iron.
Tough shot, hook lie, fade pin.
Toward the center of the green. Probably a
second shot, Pat Bradley in the fairway.
That was a wedge from 105 yards.
That was a low wedge.
It sure was. Trying to get a little spin on that one.
Pat Bradley joked yesterday. She played with Lita Lindley and Annika Sorenstam. She joked that their combined age of 47 almost equaled hers. She's 44. Back to 10.
Julie's 177.
Tough angle on Donna.
Yeah, very tough angle. She's in the intermediate cut. Pretty good lie, but I'm sure what's fooling her is the shot that Meg just hit that checked up on the front edge. But if I was Meg, I'd be a little gun shy too, knocking it over the last 2 greens. Fortunate making birdie on the last hole.
Standing below that ball, probably 5 inches. Should make it go left, which doesn't accept this hole location.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, it's left. Maybe a little short.
Keep right.
Well, she got a good hop out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's a great putt there, Drew.
This game can beat you up mentally.
Well, the amateur winner of this U.S. Women's Championship will receive a gold medallion, and that goes to Sarah LeBrun Ingram, who is 7 months pregnant. She finished +14. Kelly Booth, Wendy Ward, Grace Park. Grace Park only 16 years of age, the youngest in the competition, and Wendy Ward, who will turn professional right after play today. To 15.
And this is Lita Lindley at +1. Started golf at the age of 9. Not big, just 5 feet 4 inches tall. Beautiful putting stroke.
Well, yesterday, Bob, she said if she hadn't made every putt she looked at, she would have shot 80. So it was working yesterday, but not her ball striking.
The mountain got her back to 11.
Birdie try for Pat Bradley, Kay.
25-footer downhill from the fringe.
Well, she birdied this hole yesterday. She'll settle for par here. And you might notice Pat's new hair color, and she refers to it as platinum. I was talking to her last night. She colored it after taking exception to a sports writer who referred to her as the gray-haired 43-year-old who won earlier this year. So she likes her new platinum do. And now Sorenstam with a chance for her 3rd straight birdie. Okay.
This is a little 6-footer. Putting back up to the mountains. Putt will break slightly to the right. She'll probably aim this one just about on the left edge.
Straight for the Swede, and she fires back at Mallon and makes it a 2-shot lead.
And that putt went in just like a Corey Pavin putt at Shinnecock. I mean, that just rifled in the hole.
10th on tour in putting, and the putting part used to be the worst of Annika Sorenstam's game, but As you see the updated leaderboard, third straight birdie, and now this for par for Bradley. And Pat remains 1 under for the championship, back to 10.
Julie's 40-footer straight down, riding the mountain. Johnny, that's that putt you and I read that was perfectly straight, and we couldn't believe it.
She hit a beauty, a little harder, and she'd have made it. That'd have been a heck of a 3 after not being too thrilled with her second.
Now here's a putt that's really going to swing. She was motioning to John, her caddy, the direction of the mountain going down towards the valley. It's straight downhill and extremely fast.
There's a beautiful view of the mountain range here that influences so much this golf course. It was just built right on the influence of the foothills of the very eastern side of the Rocky Mountains.
This putter that she's using is a J-blade. She's only had it for about a month. One of the best putting strokes on tour. Ball will swing a little bit from her left to right, all depending on the speed.
Up there.
So Meg Mallon, who enjoyed a 2-shot lead at the start today, now trails by 2 to Annika Sorenstam.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC.
Welcome back for par at the 10th, Meg Mallon. Mallon remains 2 under, 2 behind Sorenstam to 12, and there's the leader.
Last year's Rookie of the Year. Annika is just 24 years old, as we said earlier.
Birdies at 5 and 9. And 10 and 11, 3 in a row.
She's a very quiet person. She keeps pretty much to herself on tour. She's just kind of what you'd call a sweet, shy young lady.
And this par 3 12th, playing 210 yards today. Johnny, you mentioned they've moved them back today. Very scenic hole. Mountain behind them, into the city, into it, and a 5-iron for Annika K.
Yes, the wind is also playing in their face today, so the hole is playing just a tad bit longer than it has. Just going at the camera stand.
Safe play for Sorenstam. Well right of the hole location. LPGA Rookie of the Year in '94. Long line of international players who have been chosen Rookie of the Year, including Helen Alfredsson, fellow countrywoman from Sweden, also Lisa Lott Neumann.
Same as we had the other day.
She looks up to, and now Pat Bradley.
Solid swing. Direct club.
Pat Bradley with a 4-iron. Going left side of the green.
Got a decent kick. For Bradley. Back to 11, the par 4, 362 yards. Meg Mallon.
It's another big hop, a lot of roll there, Dan Hicks.
That is really long.
I mean, that rolled about 60 yards.
Ahead to 17.
Third shot for Betsy King. 3 off the lead.
Got to get this up and in. Got to putt, come over that rise right there. It looks pretty darn good. Not bad.
Left about a 12-footer for birdie. Defending champion on 18. Patty Sheehan. Sheehan, 2 over for the championship, has had a solid round. This for 68.
And we've seen putt after putt missed here on 18. I don't know if it's nerves or the read, but still a good tournament. 69 today.
And a champion salute from this gallery, the largest ever to follow a U.S. Women's Open. 106,000 fans have attended this week, 27,000 today. So Sheehan will not make it 3 out of 4 years. The title belongs to someone else. And a year from now, the gold medals will begin to be distributed in Atlanta. The Games of 1996, the Centennial Olympics. And we have Atlanta 1996 live next Sunday at 3:30 Eastern here on NBC. To 14. Second shot, Val Skinner.
Nice crisp swing there. Caught it a little thin, it sounded like. But a good shot right where you want it.
Skinner even par today, +2 for the championship to 17. Betsy King. This is a birdie chance.
I really believe if Betsy King wants to at least get in a playoff, this is a must right here. This is the putt she's got to have. Wasn't her greatest approach there on her third, but leaves herself underneath the hole. A left edge putt.
It was here yesterday that she eagled, and that really started her whole momentum to drive toward a possible championship. Birdied first 4 of the first 5 holes today. And that's her 12th consecutive par since.
Well, that was an easy putt for her. Not easy with the pressure, but it's the putt she wanted. Right straight uphill inside left edge, and she pushed it to right center. Unusual procedure here of lining up, something you might see really just sort of a beginner come up with, but it works very well for her.
Well, the Hall of Fame approach, the 14th member of the LPGA Hall of Fame. Let's go to 12.
And a long birdie try for Sorenstam.
And a fast one.
Good effort from there. 4 straight would be asking a little bit much from that distance. As we look over to the Broadmoor Golf Club, hosting this 50th U.S. Women's Open, and Annika Sorenstam trying to break through for her first win, a major championship. Now Pat Bradley just on the collar, Kay.
45-foot putt. First part of this putt very quick downhill.
Just by the right edge. Pat's had a few of those today. Thought she had it.
Back to 11.
And the second shot of Meg Mallon. Great place to come into this whole location. Back left. She crushed her drive, but sends it over.
Green's firming up.
Ahead to 12. This for par for Sorenstam to remain 2 shots ahead of Mallon.
Little 3.5-foot putt. Not a whole lot of movement.
Solid again. 4 under on a round today, and that's where she stands for this championship.
Interesting thing, after 3 rounds, Annika was number 2 in greens hit, averaging 14.6. She had 15 green hits yesterday, but 35 putts. So you can see today she's hitting the ball a lot closer and making those putts.
Back to 11. This is Meg Mallon. Donna Caponi.
Next ball is in that primary rough, sitting way down. You're gonna have to take a sand wedge or a lob wedge and just get the club on the ball, because everything goes right, filters right down towards the hole.
How fast?
Real fast. Beautiful play. A little above the hole, but that's still a good play.
Just take a look at the shot. She just takes it back and just like Donna said, just sort of lets gravity hit this. Keeps the club real low. Do you see that? Didn't hit up on it. Try to lift it. And does leave herself a ticklish downhiller, though.
Ahead to 18.
And Betsy King on this finishing par 4.
She has her cleek. She'll try to drive it left center.
Playing off a hook stance. She was aiming down the right rough.
She said after getting in the Hall of Fame last week, if she had the lead in the U.S. Open, now that's not a very good lie, that she probably wouldn't be that nervous on Sunday.
Back to 13. And the tee shot of Annika Sorenstam, who said earlier this morning to play today well, she'd have a mindset that it was the opening round, not the 4th round.
Well, it's pretty hard to play a round at the U.S. Open, a final round, unscathed. It'll be interesting to see if she can do the impossible.
Well, she let go of the club like she didn't like it, but the ball's turned out pretty doggone good for her.
That's actually a great position, being left center for this pin on the right side.
Our Hall of Fame competitive partner.
Good job.
Let's take a look at Annika's reaction, facial reaction. Well, those straight misses are nice.
Who wins the Open is usually the one that makes the least mistakes and gets a little lucky.
Look at that look, like she got away with something.
211.
And Marlene, Meg Mallon trying to avoid another mistake here at 11. This for par. Donna?
I would think it's inside left.
Boy, her 3rd bogey of the day. And she falls back to 1 under for the championship, now trailing Sorenstam by 3.
So Annika Sorenstam, showing no signs of nerves at age 24, has built a 3-shot advantage as she goes to the 13th green. Betsy King, Pat Bradley, Meg Mallon trail by 3. In 1982, Julie Inkster capped off an incredible run right here at the Broadmoor, winning her 3rd straight Women's Amateur Championship. No one before or since has ever won more than 3 in a row. Colorado Springs, this city founded during the gold rush in the late 1800s, and it's for gold that the best players in the world are vying. Golfing gold here at the Broadmoor. Betsy King, 2nd shot at 18.
She got lucky and caught a pretty good lie of about 135 yards. Hit an 8-iron, and she'll have to be pleased with that one. Still will have an uphill birdie attempt here.
To 13. Annika Sorenstam
Yes.
Sprinkler head.
And then 1 cup length. You know.
David Fay is with us, the executive with the USGA.
Well, Hanukkah is getting relief from a sprinkler head. It's an immovable obstruction. She determines her nearest point of relief, drops within 1 club length, and she has to get complete relief. And now she's ready to go. As you can see from the graphic, options under free relief drop within 1 club length, the spot nearest to the ball position, which is not near the hole, avoids interference from the obstruction, and since this is through the green, not in a bunker, water hazard, or on a putting green.
Making it easy on her caddy, Colin, to find the proper yardage. Monica with 143 yards to the pin. As I said before, a nice angle, being on the left center of this fairway, hitting to the right side.
If she hits it left of the pin hole high, it leaves her an extremely fast putt. So this is one time, even with a 3-shot lead, that you might want to go ahead and go right at it, because it's a better leave at the hole or even a little bit right.
Looks like it's going just a tad left of the flag.
On 18, Betsy King for birdie.
That's a shame, because she had a long putt, but it was just as straight as an arrow from there, and I thought she might give it a good run, and leaves it 5.5 feet short. A little surprising there.
But Johnny Miller, regardless of what happens, Betsy King has really made the fight today. Her early start with those birdies had to press hard on Meg Mallon, who had not played as yet.
Yeah, but who would have thought she wouldn't birdie after 5?
Now Pat Bradley at 13, second shot.
That was a wedge from 125 yards.
Back to 12.
And this is Rosie Jones for birdie. Tracking a birdie for Rosie Jones, and after a couple of bogeys on the front 9, that birdie at 12 gets her back to even. 4 shots off the pace. Meanwhile, up on the tee at 12, Meg Mallon has had a long time to either, I guess, remember or forget that bogey on.
Just because it's got to carry.
11,
I think 5
Donna,
to the right's okay, but
Julie Larson is first to play.
A little bit of wind into the player's face at the tee, but if you look down at the green, it sits down below the players.
that other one, though, just with the wind in, it was just perfect, so I don't think.
There is the par 3 12th from the mountainside.
Ideally, Dan, the players would love to hit it just at our TV tower or the left edge of the TV tower, because everything will filter from the center of the green back down to the hole.
You can see the TV tower right there, and of course the hole location is right over here.
Looks like it's right at it.
Get up.
Just short. 4-iron came up short for Larson.
Either need
that was
to hit
perfect.
it just a little bit harder.
+3 on her final round, and now Meg Mallon, she needs to regroup a little bit here, Donna. She's just 3 shots back, has plenty of holes left.
And I don't know if she took a look at this leaderboard. You can hardly miss it. It's sitting right on the tee.
7 wood?
That's what it is. She has 4 woods in her bag this week. The longest iron she has is a 4-iron. So the rest are the 7 wood again, playing right of the hole and let it filter down towards the pin. It's a little left of the flag.
Hold it.
And it just won't quite hold.
That's a makeable chip shot, though.
Ahead to 18.
And Betsy King for par and a 66 today.
And that hole is like it's got cellophane on it today. It just won't go in.
67 then for King as we go to Sorenstam.
And you can see the difficulty of that putt. You see it's literally going sideways as it dies.
Back to 18 and a tap in for bogey for Betsy King. Well, a Hall of Fame effort from this woman. The best of the day is 67. Tammy Green, her partner, 69. Back to Pat Bradley at 13. This is for birdie.
Breaks 2 or 3 inches to the right. Not as much as it looks. And you see how quick that is. I think this is the hardest putting green on the whole golf course, especially when it's up on the top tier.
Particularly because she had an uphill putt the first 3 or 4 feet, and then it went downhill from there. I tell you, Pat's a real tough contender. I talked to her about 2 months ago, and she told me that she was having a really tough time trying to remotivate herself after she got into the Hall of Fame. For so long, her sole goal was to get into the Hall of Fame, and after that, she saw no light at the end of the tunnel after that. I mean, she didn't know where she was going. She had a good talk with Sandra Haney and tried to get some thoughts on how to refocus and rededicate herself, because Sandra Haney went through the same thing.
And Pat Bradley asked Annika to try a coin that wasn't quite so shiny, I think. So she remarked her ball and pulled out something that is either smaller or not so bright. And this is a good break for Annika because she can watch this tricky little left breaking short putt and see what it does. See if Pat Bradley can handle this. And you can see how quickly that breaks left, and I really believe that's a good break for Annika to see that.
Bradley drops a shot. She's even for the championship. Meg Mallon now alone in second, 3 behind Sorenstam.
So far, every putt Annika's hit has just come off the putter, Kay, like I said, like Corey Pavins do. Just jet off the putter with perfect speed and with authority, and we'll see if that continues right here.
Yeah, nerves of Swedish steel. Only 2 players remain in red. Annika Sorenstam, 4 under. And Meg Mallon, 1 under par. Let's go to 12.
This is the par 3, and it's been somewhat of an adventure for Meg Mallon today in this final round. So easy yesterday, bogey-free, 66 today. Just 5 pars to go along with 3 bogeys, a triple bogey, and a couple of birdies mixed in.
Pat, this is a makeable pitch shot, though, isn't it? I mean, Donna, I'm sorry.
She's in the primary rough, but the ball's sitting up pretty well. I think if she lays open a wedge or sand wedge, and you're right, Johnny, this could be chipped in. Just land it just in the frog hair and let it filter down.
Nearly did chip it in, just that short.
She's getting pretty good practice at that. She's hit 3 great shots in 4 holes, and all of them have skipped over the back.
To 14.
Off the tee, the leader, Annika Sorenstam.
Need to avoid the bunker that's left. She carries it, hits the downslope, and gets a big shooting forward, low bouncing shot. Perfect position.
Okay, is there any conversation between Bradley and Sorenstam during the course of this? Well, we'll get that answer in a moment. To 13.
Rosie Jones off a side hill, downhill lie. She's had a nice little cut shot in there, and does she play with a lot of heart.
Jones off the birdie at 12. She's still in contention for a big check today. Annika Sorenstam. All the pressure now will start to be felt mounting on this 24-year-old as she's through 13 with the lead.
Well, after a huge tee shot on 14, she leaves herself just really a wedge shot into a birdie opportunity. Picks it cleanly.
Going just right of the flag.
I was curious, Kay, with Pat Bradley, who is 20 years Sorenstam senior, is there any conversation? Is there any gamesmanship between the two?
Really not a whole lot of talking between the two. Pat has always been a very determined player. She gets out here, she just gets down to business. That's the way she always has been. It's nothing personal. Also, because they're playing in twosomes, they're playing quite quickly. There's really not a lot of time to sit and wait and chat.
When Bradley played her first U.S. Women's Open in 1971, Annika Sorenstam had yet to celebrate her first birthday. And here they are paired. The U.S. Women's Open Championship on the line, and Sorenstam with a 3-shot lead to 13. And Rosie Jones with a late charge. This for birdie. Back to 14.
Should be noted, really, Annika did win the '94 Australian Women's Open last year, and she's won twice in Europe in the last month, so maybe one of the hottest golfers in the world. This is not really an aberration that we're seeing her play this well this week.
Also, what's truly amazing, too, is her last year when she won Rookie of the Year, she was a non-exempt player, meaning she was not exempt into all the tournaments. She had to play quite a lot of Monday qualifiers and ended up 39th on a money list.
Bradley currently in a tie for third with Betsy King, who's in the clubhouse, Rosie Jones and Julie Larson at even par. Back to 13, and Rosie Jones for par.
Tough little putt.
And Jones remains 4 back, even in the championship. Now to 14.
Monica has a 15-foot birdie putt. This one going away from the mountain, and it will also break a good 2 or 3 inches to her left.
It'd be fun to know the thoughts that are going into her mind and rattling around in there, and whether or not she's saying, hey, I want to make another birdie. I want another shot clear of the leaders that are behind me.
I tell you, Johnny, she's always been a very mature player, much more mature beyond her years.
That might have done it if she made that. Watch this ball here. It'll actually, I think, go down in the hole and come back out. Ooh. And she is calm as can be. That's about as rattled as she's looked all day. She thought she had it.
So Sorenstam with her par, almost birdie, remains 4 under. Bradley's par stays even to 13. Meg Mallon's second shot.
She has just a little short, possibly 9-iron or pitching wedge. She's trying to keep it under the hole, and it's come up a little shorter than she'd like.
Just not getting those irons in tight enough to expect to make birdies.
To 18, and Lita Lindley for birdie on this finishing hole.
And watch this smile. If you want to see a smile, it'll light up the Rockies.
What a day for the Arizona Wildcats. Annika Sorenstam and Lita Lindley, 69. They were teammates and roommates on the 91 Arizona National Championship team. Now let's go to 15.
From the Cheyenne Mountains down to the tee, it's 406 yards. It's a dogleg left. Tee is elevated. And first hit will be the tournament leader, Annika Sorenstam. She has been cool and collected all day. Kay, have you seen any signs of emotion from this young lady?
No, I haven't, and that's perfectly par for Annika. She's very low-key, very laid back, not one to get overly excited or too upset.
You can see the first 2 days playing 15 produced bogey, par yesterday. Line, Kay?
Yes, it's going down the left side, actually a little into the rough.
She got away
bounce.
with it.
It did bounce out into the fairway.
Quiet, please.
That young lady began the day 5 shots behind Meg Mallon. She now leads Meg Mallon by 3. Now Pat Bradley.
This one going down the right center, drawing in. Perfect position.
Let's move down to Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Bob. Here with the most recent Hall of Famer, Betsy King, has certainly played like a Hall of Famer today. Came out blazing, 4 birdies on the first 5 holes. Now, you were 8 shots off the pace to start the day. Did you have a target score in mind?
I did. I was actually thinking if I could shoot 6 under and get to 3 under for the tournament that I might have a shot at winning. So the good start was a help, but played pretty steady after that, but just didn't make any more birdies coming in.
It looked like you were going to have an incredible round, and for just a moment, we'll continue talking to you, Betsy, but let's go out and see what's happening on 13.
Okay.
Mallon's putt is 50 feet. But the good thing about this is Julie Larson putted first, so she got a very good read on this putt moving from left to right. When Meg walked down the fairway, she took a good look at that leaderboard. I mean, she studied it. So she knows how important every shot is from here on in. Putt could move as much as 2 feet to her right. Have a little tester coming back.
All right, Meg Mallon, 3 off the lead. Let's go back to Hannah.
Betsy King, you were very friendly with Meg Mallon. Do you think that you managed to put some pressure on her at the start?
No, I wasn't really thinking about that. I know Meg's probably a little bit disappointed with how things have gone so far. I didn't see how she started out, but she got 4 over pretty early. But I think if she can make a couple birdies coming in, she'll be okay. At this point, when you have a tough start, it's hard to come back and make birdies.
Can you give us a sense for what Annika Sorenstam is like, how the other players on tour view her? She's in the lead.
I think all the players like Annika very much. She's very level-headed, calm, and a good player. Meg's got a tricky putt for par here.
Okay, what does Meg have here on this putt?
It should go a little bit right to left. Her first putt was a hard one, or it was left to right coming up over a ridge. Now she's putting back against the hill a little bit, so she can putt a little bit more aggressively.
She sure is. How difficult is it? Can you give us a sense when you come out with a lead like Meg had today, as opposed to a player like Annika or yourself who has some ground to make up and maybe a little less pressure?
Well, it is harder to play from the lead. I've discovered that a lot the last couple of years, and particularly in the Open. You know, when there's only one person ahead, if they have a little bit of an off day, you really have a shot at it. And Meg was out there, but you know, if she didn't play her best golf today, that led everybody else back into the tournament.
And talking about pressure, you really played with a lot when you were waiting to get that final win to get into the Hall of Fame, as you did 3 weeks ago. And here's how it happened.
Birdie on the last 2 holes.
What can you just describe your emotions at that point?
I was excited and relieved at the same time, if you can have that. It was a great feeling. It took a while to do it, and I was happy that it happened.
And now, Betsy, you played your first major since being a Hall of Famer. Was it a little different mentality for you coming in this time?
I thought I'd be more relaxed, but you know what? The Open jitters still were there a little bit. I think when you play an Open course, you know it's tough and you have to play your best golf or you're going to look silly. And so you're just trying to avoid embarrassment and stay in the tournament.
All right, well, thanks for providing us with a beautiful round of golf today.
Thank you.
And let's get back to the championship action.
All right, Hannah, we're at 15. Pat Bradley appears first to hit. Kay Cockrell, how far?
166 yards to the flag. Ideally, she just wants to hit this about 155 yards.
Oh, location, back right. Well, just about the middle of the green. Let me correct myself. Annika Sorenstam's drive is in the left. Is it primary rough? I can't really tell, Kay.
It is primary, just into the primary rough.
Thank you.
It's sitting down a little bit. It's not buried as badly as it could have been. I think she's can get a good 8-iron onto this, 148 yards.
Bunker, green side bunker. She is the leader in the 50th U.S. Women's Open. Her name is Annika Sorenstam. She's from Sweden.
Welcome back. The U.S. Women's Open Championship boiling down to the final few holes. Let's go out to 15.
And you see the situation that Sorenstam is in. Kay, what do you think?
Well, kind of a tricky shot. Doesn't have a whole lot of green to work with, and once the ball lands on the green, it will move to the right.
Annika Sorenstam's last bogey was at 10 yesterday. She's working on a streak of 22 straight holes without a bogey.
Well, let's take a look at this bunker shot. Good form, catches it just a touch heavy, and but does keep the ball sort of under the hole with a left to right putt.
This young lady trying to match a feat of a fellow countrywoman, Liselott Neumann, in 1988. Won the U.S. Women's Open. It was her first professional victory. I'm sure Annika is aware of that. She is looking at the scoreboard, is she not, Kay?
She is. She's peeking around the gallery, taking a look, see what's happening.
Let's move back to 14.
And it's Meg Mallon that she has to watch. She's 3 behind.
140 yards with the 7-iron. Beautiful shot just below the hole, maybe 20 feet.
Back to 15.
And birdie attempt of Pat Bradley. Kay Cockrell, read this one for us.
Oh, this is a pretty difficult putt. We'll swing quite a bit from left to right.
Breaks twice as much as it looks like. Good putt.
Oh.
You think she isn't trying?
That's the 4 knockdown rule. Pat Bradley.
When Pat Bradley won her first LPGA tournament, took place in 1974, her playing competitor, Annika Sorenstam, on the right, was 4 years old. Now this for a par to remain. 3 up on Meg Mallon. Okay.
Little uphill. This will move left to right.
Number of putts per round, 20 to this point. You mentioned that earlier. This would be a heck of a save. Now that is her first bogey in 23 holes.
Looking at that leaderboard, Bob Trumpy, I'm not so sure was the most wonderful thing to do right before you have a clutch putt, but hit that way too hard, and at least she has enough guts to look at the leaderboard.
Yep. Well, that putt was up the mountain, and we showed the graphic. She bogeyed 15 Thursday, Friday, and again today. Now Pat Bradley for par. Yeah, that's if Annika Sorenstam makes this next putt. This is for par. So Pat Bradley bogeys. She now stands at +1.
Pat's putter really letting her down in the last couple of holes.
I would not want this putt.
Really hard to keep all the thoughts out of your head and just try to focus on one shot at a time.
The lead is now 2 over Meg Mallon.
And there's a big difference between a 2 and a 3 shot lead. Psychologically, you know that a birdie bogey and you're back to even, whereas a 3 shot lead, there's that extra cushion. There's a lot of difference between 2 and 3.
So let's update the leaderboard. The 50th U.S. Women's Open Championship to be decided in the next hour, and Annika Sorenstam now has a 2-shot advantage over Meg Mallon, who led at the start today. It appears to be a 2-player race.
Julie Larson's putt, 35 feet uphill. It's very slow from down there, straight up the hill with big swing from right to left. Unfortunately, didn't catch it solid.
And Julie felt like her fiance was flying in tonight for today's championship, which he did for Minneapolis, and she thought that would give her an extra lift today. Unfortunately, it didn't.
Now Meg's putt is going to swing quite a bit from right to left. Julie's mishit putt really didn't help Meg any because her ball was a little bit too far to the right of her line.
This goes a little bit left.
Yes. It's a little downhill, but I don't think this green, Johnny, you and our putting wasn't as fast as the rest of them. It's probably the flattest green out here.
It's really a good opportunity, even though it's pretty far.
Right.
Give it a good run. Stepping away almost like the ball moved. But
no, there's a little gnat. She was waving at it with her putter. Nice read.
At the 16th, the U.S. Women's Open leader, 166 yards. Annika Sorenstam, club selection, Kay?
8 iron. 160 yards is about all she wants to play. Hitting it down the left center of the green.
Front edge, Kay.
Probably should have gone another club.
And that putt has about a 12-foot break.
Well, probably what she was thinking was, whatever I do, I don't want to go over this green.
That's the green at 16, and the leader is Annika Sorenstam. And let's move back to 14.
Julie Larson for par. Larson drops a shot to +1 to 16.
Pat Bradley.
Pat with a 7-iron. Going just right of the flag.
Come on.
That's an ideal position to be in.
Yes, okay, that will be a putt up the mountain as Pat Bradley walks to the green at 16. She trails the U.S. Open leader by 4.
Well, you got to take a look at this putt. I'm going to telestray before she hits it. She's going to have to aim about 12 feet left of the hole, and this thing is just going to go, just come right in at this angle here, and hopefully end it up right there. She's just about matched the telestrator.
Didn't quite get it high enough.
She had the right line. She just, but you can just see that putt is like 14 at Augusta.
Well, in the gallery, Annika's fiance, David Esch, works for a golf club manufacturer. I'm sure he's just as nervous as Annika. A little sigh there at that putt.
They just recently became engaged about 2 months ago.
Well, I'm sure he wishes he could help somehow, but there's nothing he can do but to sit and watch.
Well, he's watched her play a lot of golf this year, and I know he's feeling that she's right on the edge of doing something great.
The birdie attempt for Pat Bradley. Her last birdie was at the 5th hole. Since then, bogey at 13, a bogey at 15. She is now +1.
22-foot putt uphill. She must get this far enough to the right, or it will take a big swing to the left.
She staggers to another putt at the cup.
Well, I'll tell you what, any young players out there, if you want to see how to use body English today, just watch Pat Bradley.
How about playing the tour for 22 years and still having the stamina and the will to win like that?
Yeah, it's nice to see.
Well,
this is a good 6-foot putt left. And not that much easier than the first one. Still quite a bit of break to this putt. Maybe about 2 or 3 inches, 4 inches to the right.
There's the leaderboard. She lost a stroke at 15. She's now playing 16, this for par. Makes that putt. Her lead is now down to 1.
Quiet, please. Hold, please.
Shots lost in the last 2 holes. Second shot. Meg Mallon at the 15th.
That was from 170, Trump.
Not bad, not bad.
Beautiful play.
Go.
Well, Meg Mallon, who was the leader by 2 when this final round began, now trails the leader, Annika Sorenstam, by 1. This is the final round of the 50th U.S. Women's Open.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC.
Beth Daniel, the defending champion and the best of the LPGA, will be competing at the JAL Big Apple Classic next week, presented by Golf Magazine. You'll see it Saturday and Sunday, 4 Eastern, here on NBC. Clouds start to gather, the normal pattern here in Colorado Springs. Colorado is a Spanish word meaning reddish colored, And there are only two in those red numbers. Annika Sorenstam, 2 under. Meg Mallon, 1 under, as they come down the stretch with the championship at stake.
Well, the high pressure system here at the Open's keeping those clouds away. And we have high pressure here, of course, and Annika, who was really bulletproof until the last 2 holes, you might say is possibly leaking a little oil at the moment, and then she could patch that up quickly here at 17. It's a hole she can reach into. She needs a good drive. She averages 264 for the tournament. This is a downhill tee shot. She'll get another 20 yards on it, and that'll allow her to get on with one of her fairway woods.
Annika's played, Johnny, the final 2 holes in this championship 1 under the first 3 rounds.
Johnny, if she can get her drive out to about 270 to 280, she'll only have about 250 yards to the front. So if ever a good solid drive was needed.
I totally agree. Pat Bradley, of course, 1 over par. Bradley's got to know that she needs to finish probably eagle birdie unless something more unusual happens. Because Meg Mallon sitting back there a couple holes behind at 1 under, just 1 behind Annika.
Is rolling to about 270 yards. I know Annika can hit it past Pat.
Where are you located, Kay?
I'm just down the middle of the fairway, just about where the drives land.
Setting up on the right side of the tee on this slightly moving right hole.
Definitely not what she needed.
Now Meg Mallon, 4 birdies. 75 players have gone through 15 today. Only 2 have made birdies. Donna Caponi, read this putt for us.
Well, you've been here all day, but what I saw this morning is that this ball's going to move a little bit to the right and then back down to the hole. Could go down to the left towards the valley.
Got it high enough. And at the par 3 16th, Rosie Jones. 6 iron, 16, playing 166 yards. Rosie's +2, just bogeyed 14 and 15. Very close for birdie for Rosie. Back to 15. Now this is back up into the mountain, Donna.
Absolutely. I'm standing on the opposite side of the hole, looking straight at it. Inside left to straight in. And obviously, as you just said, Trump, back up into the hill, which means she has to hit a little bit firmer.
Excellent 2-putt to keep Meg Mallon 1 back with 2 to play. With 3 to play, excuse me. And at 16, you wondered what the roar was? Kelly Robbins from the bunker. Turd, who +4 on the championship, +4 on the day. As you look down from the Will Rogers Shrine on this Broadmoor East Golf Course, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and to the green at 16, the birdie attempt of Rosie Jones. Began today at 1 under, is now +2 on the championship.
Big breaking putt to the right. You have to have perfect line and speed to make this.
Rosie said she played and felt the breaks in this golf course with her feet.
Ahead to 17.
And Kay studying the lie of the leader, Annika Sorenstam.
Annika's in the primary rough. It's actually not in the deepest part of the rough, but there is some longish grass right behind her ball. She's taking out an iron right now. That basically tells you what her decision is. I think that's the smart thing to do, play down the left side. She doesn't need to try anything too fancy here. It's a par 5. All she needs to do is place this down there and with a good yardage in where she can hit a nice shot close for her third.
Kay, she told me this morning the best part of her golf game was from 50 yards in.
Hold on, ball. Oh, that's the worst thing that could have happened.
Looks like the club may have just turned over in her hand, Johnny, with the thick grass.
Instead of gearing up for impact and dominating the rough just absolutely folded the club right over. She didn't stay solid in impact. That's what you want to do on those kind of shots out of the rough, is be very firm. Watch this right at the bottom, sort of like a Chichi Rodriguez type punch at the bottom. She just sort of took more of a lazy kind of move, moved her head in a low pull hook. And that shot right there could cost her the championship. You can see right there. She does have a lot of green to work with from that left rough, though. If she has any kind of lie at all, she can still make a birdie on this hole.
Meanwhile, Meg Mellon, who started the day in terrific position and then a triple bogey just knocked her on her heels, has rallied and held tough. And Bob Trumpy, she's very much a part of this drama.
Yes, you Open champions are measured from the inside out, Dick, and surviving that bogey, triple bogey start this morning, Meg has held on. Donna Caponi's here. 166 club selection, Donna?
166. This with a 7-iron. She only needs to hit it 150, and it'll filter down towards the hole, favoring left side of the flag. Boy, it's right at it. Beautiful play.
Thank you.
But back up the mountain for Mellon, now 217.
Pat hitting a 3-wood, 260 yards to the front, 284 to the pin. She definitely can get this on with a good solid hit.
Go. Stay right.
In the mountain effect, and the ball carrying into the intermediate rough. Now Annika, okay?
Well, she has about 150 to the middle. Her lie is decent. It's actually in a fairly thick portion of the primary rough, but it's sitting up slightly.
What do you think she hit on that second shot that she twisted the club? That could be a similar kind of club that she's going to go with here.
Right. It looked like it was a 4-iron. And I'm surprised if she was going for the layup why she didn't just hit a 5-iron, something that would be sure to get her down there out of that rough. Because this was the biggest mistake, to hit it in the rough again.
The one thing good about this shot is she can hit it short of that. You see the green is divided by that rise in the middle of it. Out of the rough, Kay could probably hit short of it and feed it right back into that back pin placement.
Exactly.
So she doesn't need to carry it too far to get to there. How far to get to the front part of the green on the fly?
140.
Okay. Another low shot, huh?
It looked like that was a 7-iron.
Leader Sorenstam at 17 off the green in 3, and charging from behind, Meg Mallon.
The 50th U.S. Women's Open is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of Lincoln luxury automobiles, by American Express, by Titleist, the #1 ball in golf, and by Callaway Golf, makers of the Big Bertha irons and the Big Bertha Warbird metal woods.
Meg Mallon walking to the green at 16. Danica Pony, you're down there. Did you catch her looking at the leaderboard?
She looked right over one of our cameramen's head at the board, and she didn't study it, but on 13 and 15, she took a good, hard, long look at it.
Now let's move ahead to 17.
Out of the intermediate rough. You can see the penalty you pay for being in there. You don't get any spin whatsoever. Rolls to the back.
Back to 16.
And there she is. She was the overnight leader at 5 under par. She parred 1 and 2, bogeyed 3, triple bogeyed 4, parred 5, birdied 6, bogeyed 8, birdied 9, bogeyed 11. She has hung with it and still has a chance. And let's move ahead to 17.
Fourth shot of Sorenstam.
Moves a little left. Oh my word, you got to putt one of those for the National Open.
Well, I tell you, it looks like that there possibly is some choking going on, but let me tell you, folks, this is the United States Open, the most important tournament of the year, and I know, Donna, you've won an Open. You know what they're feeling coming down the stretch.
I sure do. There's no air getting to your brain at this point.
Back to 16.
And Meg Mallon for birdie. Donna?
The key thing to this hole is the speed. She's putting back up into the hill. It's going to swing right to left. She already knows that. Key thing is how hard to hit it. Players have said it's difficult to hit it going up the hill.
That's got a little work left too, with a little sliced putt coming back.
She got it to the hole, but now this 3.5 footer, as you said.
And back to 17.
Bradley for birdie.
There it is. The body English paid off. She's still alive.
So Pat Bradley at age 44, only 2 off the lead. She's trying to become the oldest ever to win this treasured title. 16.
Par attempt. Meg Mallon. Donna, it breaks right.
Breaks right, as Johnny said, a slice putt.
Annika Sorenstam, who is putting on 17.
For par.
Another slice putt. Yes.
A huge putt there for Annika after Pat making hers.
And that was a hard-earned par if you ever saw one.
That was a troublesome 5. She goes to 18 with a 1-shot lead over Meg Mallon. Betsy King in the clubhouse with a 67 today. Best round of this day. Pat Bradley with her birdie. Who knows, as you said, Johnny, bogey birdie situation here. And this young face from Stockholm.
And pushed her drive, pulled her second, pushed her third, hit it too hard on the fourth.
And Pat Bradley doing her own play-by-play.
Look at that look.
Please, 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 please.
Now we go to 18T. And as we do, I'll just remind you that Meg Mallon anxious to get to 17. She's birdied 17 each of the first 3 rounds. And she's 1 back. Bradley first is 2 behind Sorenstam.
Some of the players been hitting 3 woods and 5 woods off the tee. Pat today with the driver.
You know she wants to hit a birdie. She wants to play it down the left center. Little fade maybe.
That's exactly what she did. A1 drive right there.
She knows with her experience that a birdie here could do it, get her in a playoff. And Annika's got to regroup. She has hit some errant shots, several in a row now. She really hasn't hit a real good shot for a while, so this is the biggest shot of her life.
She's part 18 each of the first 3 rounds.
Left side of the tee this time.
Perfect drive, drawing back to the center.
Well, Bradley and Sorenstam's balls 10 yards apart, and they are 2 shots away to 17 and Mallon at the tee.
She needs a big one down the middle. It's down the middle. Up, rolling to the intermediate rough, but that's not a bad spot to be right there. Get a little jumper out of there maybe.
Mallon playing the par 5 17, a birdie hole, and she trails Annika Sorenstam by 1. The early walk down 18 off the tee for 24-year-old Annika Sorenstam. A major prize within her grasp, and how close the competition? Right there. Meg Mallon -1.
And there's no feeling like this, I'm telling you. I've been there just one time, and it's just amazing. That's the only thing I can tell you. And she has got this hanging lie. It'd be very easy to hit this ball thin. And does that branch K come into play at all? It's just barely out of either just on the line or just off the line.
Right, she would have to hit a shot to the right to hit it. It's a clear shot for her to the pin. 176 yards.
She hits quickly. Is it
that was
right?
a 5-iron. It's going a little bit right.
It's got to settle. It's pin high. Not too bad. Not bad at all.
Left herself about 40 feet from the hole. Now Pat Bradley.
Pat Bradley just 2 paces ahead of Annika, 174 to the pin.
And she knows that Annika's in 3-putt range, and a birdie would put her in good stead.
Pat has also selected a 5-iron. Left side of the green.
Roll back. That's not a hard putt from there. That's definitely makeable.
Pat Bradley, the only player to have won all 4 of the LPGA majors, the Open in '81, 14 years ago, '86 the LPGA championship in Dinah Shore, and 3 times the Du Maurier. And she has sights on a birdie to make this really interesting. Let's go to Donna.
Meg Mallon's lie is not bad. She's 255 to the front edge of the green. She's elected to hit a wood. I don't think she can knock it on from here, but she doesn't know about the roars that are going on. She's going to wait for the players to clear the green, and then it'll hit.
That was good, George.
So back to 18. Annika Sorenstam with a tenuous lead. There's the acknowledging smile.
I think she's breathing cotton balls right now, but good smile.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Will Rogers. One of his very best quotes are, "We can't all be heroes because someone has to sit on the curb and clap as they go by." And so they do. The largest gallery in U.S. Women's Open history here at the Broadmoor.
And there's a look of a woman that knows it's not over yet. And she has the exact same putt that Nancy Lopez made. It's probably the easiest putt on the green. Pretty darn straight.
But she'll need help from Annika Sorenstam, who has a 2-shot lead. Meg Mellon, meanwhile, is back on 17 with thoughts on birdie herself. So let's go there. Her second shot.
Well, she's got enough adrenaline in her, I'm sure, to pick up a few yards if she needs it right now.
Well, she didn't hit it extremely long off the tee. I'm sure just trying to keep it in the fairway or in the short cut. Good play right at the middle of the green. It's short, though. Sets up her third shot.
Pretty much the same shot she made birdie on yesterday.
Out 18.
She's got a putt here. The fall, of course, the mountains are to her left, and this right here is just going to break. Start breaking left right now. Slow down. That's a very fine putt right there. A little easier than that had gone in.
And Pat Bradley, catching the eye of Sorenstam, gave her a nod of approval, and saw Sorenstam look at her veteran competitor.
Oh, she's saying thank you for stopping. She's got it in that range. She doesn't have to sweat bullets to make it.
Tough enough, the thin air at 6,000 feet. How thin is it now?
And we've watched this putt all day long, and this is putt of Pat Bradley's is about as good a tracking putt as you can get on the 18th hole. As I said, Nancy Lopez made it right in the heart earlier in the day. She's going to leave the flagstick in. Made the big putt at 17. She hit a great putt. It moved right just a little. All day long we've seen that same putt go straight. She hit it right in the hole, and she doesn't know how unlucky she was right there.
How many near misses for Pat Bradley today? She putted so well not to do even better.
Her stroke held up like a young player. I mean, really did putt well today. Missed a couple short ones, but the long ones were terrific.
So the battle now defined to 2. Annika Sorenstam and Meg Mellon back at 17.
Boy, imagine the thoughts going on there and also here.
Bradley is going to putt out. This would be for 70.
Pretty straight putt right here. We've seen so many putts missed, short putts on this 18th hole, though. Just seems like they don't want to go in here.
This championship special, 70 to finish today.
And Annika's got about a 12 to 14 inch putt. You would think she could make this in her sleep, and she probably could anytime but right now, and shouldn't have any trouble with this though. She's been knocking in these putts, these short putts, with really a very free, smooth stroke.
Today.
And she's going to force Meg Mellon to have to play under par the last 2 holes.
Her boyfriend, fiance David Esch.
What a
now
great
the waiting game, huh, Johnny? This has got to be as tough as playing.
What a great moment.
And if she should win this championship, she'd be the 6th foreign player to win the United States Open.
And now the focus turns on Meg Mallon, where it started today. And this is Mallon.
I mean, this is so similar to the third shot yesterday that she knocked darn near for a gimme. She landed short of the tier yesterday, and then hopped over and ran up. And she just absolutely scooped it, is what she did.
Leaves herself well away in 3. And here, Sorenstam, finishing her round of 68.
Oh, man.
That was the best breath of the day, wasn't it?
Oh, my word. She's so happy that she made that putt.
Trying to follow the lead of Liselott Neumann, her countrywoman, who in 1988, her first LPGA win was the Open. Will history repeat for this Swedish star?
Very good. All right. You got also?
Now to 17 for birdie, Meg Mallon. And a long attempt it is, but if successful, would tie her for the lead.
40-footer, and Johnny has talked about the ridge right in the middle of the screen. Johnny, this is the putt that you and I putted that was dead straight. If anything, would have fallen a little bit right at the hole.
In fact, I said, you know, somebody had this putt.
Yep.
They could make it.
That's right. Up the hill and back down.
Started left of the hole and didn't hit it.
First time in the championship she didn't birdie here at 17.
Yeah, that third shot, she just, you know, with the pressure and the downhill lie, instead of swinging with the slope and maybe driving in there a little lower, she added a little loft right at the bottom and scooped it.
4, 4, 3, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay.
Sounds like a pretty good score to me, Dick.
Those are unfamiliar numbers to a lot of us.
4, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3, 4, 4. Correct. Appreciate your help today. Thanks for being with us.
I'm sure she's about ready to lose it, but lose it in a nice way.
She hasn't won yet. And the agonizing wait will be at least 10 more minutes. Julie Larson, who started in second place today, 1 over. This for birdie. So Larson remains 3 behind Sorenstam.
You can see the emotions have got to her. She's already pretty teary-eyed, and I know she's expecting to win.
Started playing golf at 12. Her parents got her started. They both are players. She's an excellent tennis player as a youth, and at the time it appeared that tennis would be her sport, but eventually a scholarship offered to the University of Arizona, and then golf became her serious pursuit. Meg Mallon now.
Donna?
Straight in. I don't see it moving anyway.
She needs this to keep in touch.
It's putting right down to the valley.
Gives herself a chance to birdie 18 and force a playoff.
So let's take a close look at this finishing par 4 18th into the beautiful Broadmoor clubhouse. Johnny, how do you play it to make birdie?
Well, it's 394 yards, and of course at this altitude you can minus 10 or 15%, and most of the ladies have been hitting 3 and 4 wood off the tee. Played down the left center of the fairway, preferably hit a little cut to make it run a little more. Straight shot will do, and then go into the green with about a 7-iron, 8-iron to a very difficult back center pin placement.
Meg Mallon, who won the U.S. Women's Open 4 years ago and needs a birdie to tie Annika Sorenstam.
It'll be interesting to see if she goes with a little bit more club to get it down there in birdie range instead of having to hit a 6-iron, maybe more off the downslope. Of course, that brings more problems into play if she doesn't hit it straight.
Yet to birdie 18 in their previous 3 rounds.
She's elected to hit the driver. A little bit breeze into the players and left to right now.
One thing she doesn't want to do is miss it right. If you miss it right, there's a big tree and also some beautiful fir trees that'll give you no shot.
It's perfect.
Now she needs 2 more perfect ones.
Meg Mellon has the first part of her challenge answered. Can she birdie and force a playoff with Annika Sorenstam?
We are back at the 50th Women's U.S. Open with Annika Sorenstam, who is in the clubhouse with a 1-shot lead over Meg Mellon, and quite an emotional round. The tears were flowing. Annika, tell us what it was like for you. What sort of mentality you came into this round with? You were 5 shots off the pace.
Yes, I was 5 shots off the pace, and I said I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to try and hit the ball as good as I can and kind of be a little aggressive on the putts and trying to make birdies.
And this is something, this thought process started for you when I saw you yesterday on the range as you were practicing.
Oh, that's correct. I was actually looking for a little swing thought, and I did find something yesterday, but this morning I found it and I could keep it on the course also.
Okay, we're going to take a look at what's happening now on 18. And Annika, what emotions are going through your mind at this point?
I think I have a heartbeat of 2,000, but no, I'm just glad I'm in. Just have to see what Meg is going to do.
Okay, let's watch.
Donna, you got the yardage there?
She's 180 to the hole, 160 to the front with a 4-iron.
How's it look, Donna?
Going right at the center of the green. It's got to hop up.
You could sure tell how solid she hit that.
What a shot.
And she's left herself right underneath the hole, stop ball, and it does, and gives herself a chance at a national championship, a tie, and force a playoff.
Meg Mellon, who has her name on that championship trophy, 1991. Now we'll watch as Julie Larson, who has won over for the championship, her second.
Julie's 165. This is a big shot for her if she can make birdie. Finish even par for the tournament and the championship.
She just missed the water. Hannah?
Okay, Annika, let's check in with you again. Your thoughts after watching Meg Mellon's shot there.
I think she had a terrific shot into there. She probably hit a 6 or a 7-iron. I mean, I hit my 6-iron a little right, so she hit a really good shot there, and we'll see what she can do with the putt.
And as we watch them walk up 18, what was going through your mind as you were walking up 18, perhaps on the verge of winning this great championship?
Yeah, I don't remember even hitting the 6-iron. I was very nervous. As I said, my heart was beating, and but it's really nice to walk up. The crowd is so supportive here, and they clap, and I get goosebumps all the way up there.
Your countrywoman, Liselott Neumann, made this great championship her first ever victory on U.S. soil. From knowing her, do you have a sense of what this might mean?
I don't think I know. First win and such a big tournament, I really don't know what I got myself into, but...
How much were you watching Meg Mellon today? How much were you watching that scoreboard?
I'll start watching on the back 9. So I know what she's done and how score she's been, and not only Meg, but all the others also.
Okay, let's watch. Okay, and you had a very impressive run of 3 straight birdies today, beginning on 9. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of your round today. Actually, this putt is for eagle at this point, aren't it?
Yes, I hit a 3-wood into the green there, and it's a big breaker, but almost a little lag, I would say.
You were putting yourself in good position, weren't you, with your iron play today? Here you are on 10.
Yeah, birdie. I'm hitting a soft 6-iron. I think it was 165 to the front.
And you went on to birdie that hole. And then on 11, you had a chance for another birdie with this putt.
Yeah, I hit a wedge up into that green.
And your fortune started to change a bit on the back. Here you are on a 14 for birdie. What happened here?
Actually, I thought this was a pretty good putt. I just hit the edge.
Oh. Tough.
Yeah.
And on 15 for par?
Yeah, I was in the bunker there. Hit a little hard.
You bogeyed 15. You also bogeyed 16. At that point, were you feeling the nerves a little bit?
I was. It felt like every hole was 700 yards, and I had the longest putt in the world.
But then a great job on 17. You'd gotten into some problems, and you were able to par that hole. How big was that for you?
I think that was a key. I knew I needed to just make par there and trying to play 18. It was a big relief.
Okay, thank you very much, and we will sit and watch and wait with you as we go back and look at Meg Mallon.
And I'm sure Annika Sorenstam is interested as any in this, perhaps the largest gallery ever to watch, women's golf event.
Well, Julie Larson will putt first. She, of course, hit that second shot heavy and then pitched up to about 20 feet from the hole.
Started today in second place, 3 shots behind Meg Mallon. 2 behind Mallon at -3, so she's lost 4 shots to this point.
Breaks right. She'll probably elect to finish to set the stage here for Meg. And we've talked about a playoff. There will be a playoff. It'll start early Monday morning, tomorrow morning, if there's a tie, obviously, and will not be a sudden death today.
Well, she played some of the best golf of her life. Julie Larson, disappointing 75.
Donna Caponi, we've looked at this putt this morning. There isn't a lot of break. Do you see a little bit? We've seen this putt.
I see a little bit, Johnny, right at the hole. It's so slow, if you remember, when we were putting it. We really were, I was just banging the heck out of that putt to try and get it up the hill. Her ball is right at the base of the level, which means her left foot is a lot higher than her right, which really doesn't mean a whole lot other than she can feel that it's straight uphill.
Well, last time I saw her putting in a major championship, needing a putt to win, it was at, we were covering it in the PGA, and she knocked it right in the heart of the hole on the 72nd hole.
Well, she's one of our best putters on tour.
Face of the 1995 champion is 24-year-old Annika Sorenstam. Meg Mallon finishes 1 shot behind. Started the day 2 ahead, but a 74 brings the pack to her and one woman beyond. Annika Sorenstam, 24 years of age, one of the younger champions of recent years. So this, the largest gallery in the history of the U.S. Women's Open. The Golden Anniversary Celebration, the 50th U.S. Women's Open, won by a golden-haired 24-year-old from Stockholm, Sweden. Hail Annika Sorenstam, joining the list of the elite, the greatest players in the game of golf.
Tonight at 7, 6 Central, join NBC for Lost Civilizations, followed by Sequest, and the movie A Matter of Justice, starring Martin Sheen and Patty Duke. We'll be back next weekend with the Jowl Big Apple Classic presented by Golf Magazine. Beth Daniel defends her title on one of the toughest courses the LPGA pros play all year. The Jowl Big Apple Classic next Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, here on NBC. And a reminder, coming up in September, the United States defends its title in the Ryder Cup matches, September 23rd and 24th, all on NBC Sports. For our entire NBC broadcast team at the Broadmoor, I'm Dick Enberg. Thank you for being with us, and congratulations to the 1995 U.S. Women's Open champion. Her first LPGA win is a major championship. Annika Sorenstam.